Hey, my beautiful witches, I am back. It is Murphy Gray Hunter.
And Jada Lady Hunter.
Ooh, look at that hair. Look at that hair. She's going to get a shampoo here in a little bit.
This is my hair.
My clippy finally gave up and it just came out of my hair. Just like, whoop. Anyway, so this is going to be a video on witchy tips. Okay, so I might have given this advice already. If not, I guess you're just going to hear it again if you're watching this video. Sorry that I keep looking over here. It's just by habit, and the camera's like right over there. All right. So, I guess first tip is like, when you first get into witchcraft, you're really super excited, and you want to get everything. You get a book or you're watching a video, and you see that you need to have an altar, you need to have all these witchy books, and you gotta have all these crystals and all these candles and all these incense and all this and all that and blah 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 blah, right? Okay, then you go buy all that stuff and you're like going broke because witchy supplies are freaking expensive, okay? Depending on where you get them. So you buy all this stuff and then you're like, hey, I want to do a money spell. Something as simple as a money spell. You don't have the ingredients. And you bought all this other stuff, but you don't have what you need. It's kind of like when you go to the grocery store and you buy all this food. You come home and you spend like over $200 on groceries. And then you come home and you're like, well, what am I going to make for dinner? I don't have anything to make for dinner. Because you just go in there and you're buying on impulse. You're not being practical and smart about the things that you need. So what I do, and I had to learn this the very hard way. Now don't get me wrong. All the things that you buy, like all of the witchy stuff and the candles and all that you buy, it never goes to waste because you do use it. It's just a matter of when you're using it. So what you should do, well, not should, but what I recommend that you do or advise, what I did, let me put it that way. What I did is I made a list of all of the necessities. Like, okay, say for example, when you first move into a house, or you're going to make a grocery list, you write all the necessities. You need salt, pepper, seasoning salt, toilet paper, paper towels, trash bags, Ziplocs, foil. You like when you first move into a house, you need to have all this stuff to stock your pantry. In the refrigerator, you got to have milk and eggs and butter. You got to have bread. You got to have all the necessities. Then on a separate side, you write all the wants. I would like to have some Pop-Tarts. I would like to have some orange juice. I would like to have, applesauce, all the stuff that you would like. But when I go to the grocery store, I make a meal plan. Like, say, Monday through Sunday. I make a meal plan. What am I going to eat on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday. And then I write down, say I'm going to have vegetarian cheese lasagna or whatever. Cheese lasagna. Then I'll write down everything that I need, like cheese lasagna and a salad. Okay, then I go to my list and I write down everything I need. That way, when I go to the store, I have all the ingredients that I need for lasagna, all the ingredients that I need for a salad that I'm making or whatever it is, That's how I shop. But when I go witchy shopping, I write down everything that I'm going to be doing. You want to have stuff, basic stuff to make a money spell, to do money spells, to do protection, and to do like some type of revenge spell, like reversal spell or something, if that's something that's, that you do. I guess just find the things that you want to do. If you're trying to bring peace and prosperity and abundance and love and protection, then make sure you have those things for those particular spells that you want. Some people do, a prosperity spell, like a candle every month, and they do protection every month, and they do like a peace and tranquility in their home, whatever, every 6 months or whatever. When you're going witchy shopping, make sure you write a list of the things that you need. Then on the separate paper or on the back of the paper, write the things that you want. That way you're making sure that you're prepared. And you always want to make sure that you are watching other videos or talking to other witches and get advice from them. Like, what things would you advise that I have in my cabinet at home? You know, most witches are going to say, make sure you have sage for basic protection. Make sure you have some basic white candles, like from the dollar store. Those little white glass candles that cost like $1, or the little votives, or the tea candles is fine. You know, make sure you have some white ones, because with white ones you can do anything that you need. You know, you want to make sure that you know, if you're going to work with incense, you know, because you can do magical things with incense, make sure you get the incense that you're needing. You know, you want to make sure that you have the basic things at home that you need. You don't need to go out and buy stuff to make an altar. If you don't use an altar, why are you buying the stuff for an altar? You don't need to have the chalice and the bell and the god and goddess candle, and you don't have to have the aphame, and you know, you don't have to have all of that right away. If you don't know what an altar is and how it's going to function in your life, you know, in your craft right now, there's really no need for you to get it. There are a lot of witches that don't use altars. There really isn't a need for one unless that's something that you in your practice that you do. I have different altars, but in the beginning I didn't have any. You know, but now I have different altars that I use for different purposes. But do I need one? No. That was a want. So that was on my list for my wants. And later on, I was able to get it. And so I didn't need to have an altar for, say, for my family. Didn't need to have an ancestor altar. I didn't need to have a whole altar just for my ancestors. I didn't need to have that. But is it something that I wanted? Yes. And eventually, you know, I got it. So I'm saying you have to be able to separate the things that you need from the wants. And that would really help your, you know, your cost, you know, the money that you're spending. Same with tarot cards, fortune cards, oracle cards. If you don't know how to use them or you're not into them, then don't buy them. Just because these other witches have them doesn't mean that you need to have them. Just because these other witches know how to read tarot cards doesn't mean that you need to do that. You know, there's plenty of time. So you really want to take the time to read and research, ask questions, watch videos. And also in your area, wherever you live, you want to Google up magical stores, botanicas, witchy shops. Find out where all your witchy shops are. And then go to each of the stores. Just go to browse. Don't go and start buying. Go and browse all the stores first. And then find out which store is the most reasonable shop that you have. You can always shop online. Very true. You can always shop online. But sometimes you need to be able to run to the store and get that one thing. And you don't have time to wait, you know, a week for it to come in the mail. You need to be able to have a go-to shop, you know. And so what's really funny is that here in Texas, we have a grocery store called Fiesta. I don't know if y'all have them everywhere else. It's like a Mexican grocery store. And it's just like the Mexican meat markets. I'm pretty sure everybody has a Mexican meat market in their area. They sell so many witchy supplies in there. Mexicans are big into witchcraft. So, of course, there is a lot of stuff. There's a lot of candles. And so reasonable. I go to the Mexican meat markets. Yeah, I went on another ride. I go to the Mexican meat market and to the Mexican Mexican grocery store, Fiesta, and I load up on all my candles and all of my dry herbs because they sell a lot of herbs really, really cheap. Like, for example, baby rosebuds. I can get a big package of baby rosebuds for like $2.19, or I can order them from a witchy shop and pay twice as much. And then you have shipping and handling, you know, so it adds up. So you definitely want to shop around and look for your witchy shops and also your Mexican meat markets or Mexican grocery stores, because they will have candles. And if you're into 7-day candles, you will definitely find them there. Look for botanica stores. If you have Botanica stores or some Mexican witchcraft stores, you're going to find it. But your best bet, the cheapest ways are going to be the meat markets and the Mexican grocery stores. And you know, find where you can get all your supplies at a really reasonable rate. And so we have a lot of shops here, and the one that I was going to in the very beginning was really expensive. And then as I started like shopping around and looking at different shops, I started finding that, hey, there are a lot of cheaper stores. And then once you know what to look for, you're gonna find yourself saving a bunch of money. Like for example, if I didn't know about the herbs and stuff and about the different names that these herbs are called, I wouldn't know that I was actually getting a deal at the Mexican meat markets or at the Mexican grocery store or even at your local grocery store or at Whole Foods or Sprouts or any of these shops, you know, that sells like, you know, like Trader Joe's and the natural grocers, you know, all these places, they have essential oils there. They have dried herbs there. I mean, you're going to find so many products in so many places once you learn about all of them. Like just with plain table salt, kosher, like at the grocery store, they sell table salt, kosher salt, rock salt, and then black pepper. They sell black pepper, crushed pepper flakes, the red pepper flakes, nutmeg, the whole nutmegs, things like that. That like say you need a whole nutmeg to do a money, a lucky money, you know, like something to put in your mojo bag. You use a whole nutmeg and you drill a little hole on top and you're going to put stuff in it and you're going to put it into your mojo bag. You know, there's a lot of things you can use with nutmeg. But I'm just saying, for example, you can't find one, so you're like, you have to order one. And you pay a lot of money for that one. But if you go to your local grocery store, they sell whole nutmegs. You know, so start learning your herbs and your where you can get everything. Once you know what to look for, you're going to start finding things really cheap. So you definitely want to do some research in your city or in your town to find out where the cheaper, all of your witchy shops are. Make a list where all your witchy shops are, and your botanicas and your Mexican meat markets and Mexican grocery stores. Because I'm telling you, you're going to be able to find a lot of that stuff. Also, the Asian markets. I get a lot of my teas from the Asian markets. Now, sometimes if you can't afford certain things, like if you can't afford, say, dandelion, you can't afford dandelion leaves. You can't find them, whatever. You can find them in the tea bags. You just open up the tea bag and dump the herbs out. Because that's what it is. If it's a natural tea, they have the whole leaves inside the bags. You can cut the bags out and use that. If you do, you know, whatever kind of tea. You need jasmine flowers or something, and you can't find them, or you can't afford it, you can buy a whole box of tea with, I don't know, 50, whatever, you know, tea bags in there for a few dollars, and you have it all right there. I get a lot of my teas, you know, for drinking, or if I'm looking for something at the Asian markets as well. And then, like I said, once you research and you know all your herbs and your roots and oils and stuff like that, it's going to be really easy. You're going to save a lot of money. Another thing, once you start learning about your herbs and your flowers and roots and stuff, you can go harvesting in your area. Just Google the area that you live in and find out what plants are in bloom, or what flowers bloom, or what's in season during this month, whatever. You know, if there's a certain time where there are, like for example, dandelion. I pick dandelions and I make dandelion salad dressing. I make dandelion tea, and then I dry the dandelions and I put them once they're dry, I put them in a jar and I use them for whatever I may need, a spell or something. I save them. I harvest flowers and stuff as well. But you can find out when those things are in season and then go harvesting. If it is a place where you can harvest, then go harvest. Now, don't take some scissors and start harvesting, you know, places where you're not supposed to, okay? Don't go harvesting at a place because you think it's so magical and this and that, and you're going to create a lot of problems for yourself if you're picking things that you're not supposed to be picking. Make sure you have permission, or make sure it is a public area or on the side of the road. or just make sure that you can pick it before you just go and take something from somebody's land or property. Okay, so that's just that. Okay, we only talk about that anyway. So yes, go harvesting. Go purchase some mason jars at the dollar store, or Ziploc bags or paper bags, whatever you can get. Take a marker with you or labels with you and something to dig with. And take a ride and just start harvesting stuff. And you're going to find that you can use so many things for so many spells. Depending on the path that you're following, you'll be able to collect. Like I do hoodoo and voodoo as well. And so with those particular practices, I can use dirts from certain places. You can use dirt from, a courthouse, dirt from a hospital, dirt from a doctor's office, dirt from the graveyard, dirt from your ancestors' gravesite. You can use dirt from, like the lake. You can use the dirt that's on the side of the lake. You can collect dirts for all kinds of magical spells. Just know which ones you're going to get, and then, but by reading and doing the research, you're going to understand more about magical dirts and how to use them and how to harvest them. When you go to a graveyard, there are certain rules when you go to a graveyard, things that you need to leave before you can just take dirt from someone's grave. So that's going to take you having to pick up a book or watch a video or ask someone what I can do. Don't just go into picking somebody's stuff or collecting dirt and you don't even know what you're doing. Okay, that is going to cause so many problems. And not only just problems, but it's so disrespectful on so many levels. So you can harvest so many things and you can save so much money. Here in Texas, we have rosemary everywhere. And if you're buying rosemary, it can be expensive. But if you can harvest it on the side of the road and dry it, doesn't cost you anything. There are tons of fields here that have so much lavender. I harvest lavender. We harvest cotton. We harvest rosemary. We harvest different types of flowers and plants as well as dirts. I mean, it's so much fun to go harvesting once you know what you can harvest. And a lot of magical ingredients don't cost you anything but time. But you're going to start to realize this. But before you just go unknowingly what you need, you're going to spend a lot of money if you don't know what you need right away and what you need later on. If you don't know your needs from wants, you're going to spend a lot of money. You don't have to have 100 books. You really just need to find one great book that has everything that you're looking for. But know what you're looking for before you purchase that book. Don't just buy all these books because they're all about witchcraft. You may end up buying 5 books and they're all the same thing. You're like, dang, all these books talk about the same thing. You just need to really find one great book. And if you're trying to watch what you're spending, it's great to have books. I mean, can never have too many books. But if you're very new into this and you're trying to find what the best book is, if you're trying to go Wiccan, then you want to find a book about Wicca. If you're going into Santeria, you want to find a book that's going to talk about Santeria, Palo, voodoo, hoodoo, any type of magic you're trying to do. But just understand that any path that you take, that you choose to follow, it is not something that it's just something that it's fun to do right now. It's very serious. There are a lot of rules that you need to follow with certain paths that you're following. There's a lot of respect that you need to make sure that you are following. Because if not, you are going to disrespect everyone. Like say, for example, you want to study Santeria and you don't know what you're doing. And you just pick up a book and you just start reading. Oh, now I know how to do Santeria. I've read this whole chapter. There are people who have been studying Santeria for, years and years and still don't know. They're already initiated and everything. They've gone through everything and they are still learning. So for you to pick up a book one day and read 1 or 2 chapters and think that I can do Santeria now, I've read 2 chapters. No. You are disrespecting the whole practice. And you're disrespecting all of those witches who have put in all that time and hard work and dedication into following this beautiful, beautiful, magical path. So don't do it. Don't do it. You want to put in the time. Make sure that everything, it's serious. It's just like when you're going to college and you're looking at all these things. Do I want to be a doctor? Do I want to be a nurse? Do I want to be, do I want to be an engineer? Lawyer? You find something that you have interest in, and then you focus all your energy and, time into that, into being a lawyer. You don't study about being a lawyer and study about being a doctor and study about being an engineer. You don't do all those at one time, because you're gonna show disrespect somewhere on one of those levels. I'm not saying you can't learn all those, but you need to take one and baby that, and do all the research and the time and dedication that it takes for this particular practice. Then you can move on to this particular one, and on and on and on. You can study and follow as many as you want. Just make sure that you're putting in the time and putting in the respect that each one deserves and is and requires. Because you're going to cause so many problems for yourself if you think that you can just pick up a book and learn how to do something in a day or two. It doesn't work that way. You may be fooling yourself, fooling everybody else, but you're not going to be fooling yourself, because it's going to show in the work that you're trying to do. It's going to show in the people who you have pissed off by literally spit in their face, by disrespecting all the time that they've put into something. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to be disrespecting anyone. And if you just don't care, then you don't care, but it's really going to show in your work. If you don't care about disrespecting the practice or disrespecting the people who put in all the hard work, it will show in your results and in the things that you do. So that's just a little bit of word of advice on that. But anyway, witchcraft is so much, it's so rewarding in so many ways. And I'm not just saying that you can get into witchcraft. Oh, I want to get into witchcraft because I'm going to learn how to do all these spells, and I'm going to make this person love me, and I'm going to put all these hex and curses on this person and this and that. That's the wrong reason to be doing witchcraft. You can get into witchcraft and really reward your whole life in so many beautiful ways, and really come in full circle with your life to feel complete. If witchcraft, being a witch is in your blood, or if this is what you want to be, something that you are very in tune with, and you feel that this is where you belong, if you respect it, if you give it the respect, and you give it the hard work that it requires and deserves, your reward will be so beautiful, because witchcraft, no matter what path that you follow, will enhance your life and will be so beautiful. You'll have so much peace, and your eyes will be open to so many things, and you will feel so unique around everyone else, because not because of the fact of your title, but because you appreciate life more than an average person. You respect, Mother Nature. You respect the plants and the trees and the flowers and the animals and everything else. You look at everything completely different. Some people will say, oh, look, it's a full moon. Okay. Oh my God, a full moon, something bad's going to happen. But as witches, we know that the full moon is something beautiful. It is a gift that we are able to see. We're blessed to see, when it comes out. And we can do so many things with the energy from a full moon. So, we are unique in that way, that our eyes are open to a completely different world. And so if you're going to do witchcraft, please make sure that you respect any magical path that you choose to follow, and not just because you're doing this so people won't be pissed off at you. You do it because you want to make sure that you're being true to yourself, and true to when you say you're a witch, it doesn't just affect you if you're doing something wrong. It affects us all as witches, because people in society, they don't separate us. We are all put together. You're a witch, you're a witch, you're a witch. Whether this witch is an experienced good witch, and this person is a very bad witch, and this one is a new witch who's just causing so many problems because they don't know what they're doing. They don't care. They're going to put us all together in one category. And, then that causes a lot of people to hate on us and puts us right back to where we started so many years ago. We need to unite as witches. And with that, we need to make sure that as a witch, we need to represent our brothers and sisters well. We need to make sure that we represent each other very, very well, and making sure that we are getting the respect that we deserve, the respect that we've earned. So when we have just people getting into witchcraft because they think that it's something fun to do and something cool, it's hard, because one bad apple can just ruin the whole barrel. I think that's how that saying goes. But anyway, you know what I mean. So, like I said, witchcraft can be a very beautiful thing. Make sure that you find someone who agrees to, if you can be mentored by someone. Someone will be willing to teach you or give you advice. Make sure you're watching videos, making sure that you are asking the right questions. Yes?
My doll has a rib in her dress and now though.
Oh, I can try to sew it for you.
That's
Okay. Come on, baby. So yeah, making sure that you are asking the right questions and making sure the person that you are getting advice from is an experienced witch and knows what they're talking about. Because you don't want someone who isn't experienced giving you the wrong advice. You know what I mean? Like the blind leading the blind. You don't want that. So, and I'm not saying that an experienced witch knows more than a new witch, because if the new witch comes in and does all of this, does all the research and the time and everything that is needed, she can be just as good. He or she could just be as good as this other witch who's been doing witchcraft for a long time. It all depends on all the hard work that you put into it. That is what, that's what makes you a very good witch at what you do, is putting in the time and the experience as well. But I mean, you could be a witch for 15 years and not know what you're doing. So, you either take 15 years and use those years well, or you waste 15 years just not knowing. You know what I mean? So, anyway, I hope these little bits of advice have helped. And again, make sure that y'all are not spending your money on trying to get everything that a witch that you may see on YouTube. If this witch has all these supplies and buckets and buckets of incense and buckets of candles and blah blah blah, and a whole room dedicated to witchcraft, and giving you advice about this and that, don't just take one witch's advice to heart. You make sure that you allow yourself to talk to different witches, and every witch is different. Every witch is different, Not everyone's going to do spells the same way. Like I've always said, if I give you a cake mix and I give this person a cake mix and this person a cake mix, and here's a recipe, we're all going to have 3 or 4 cakes, but they're all going to taste a little different because everybody does their own little thing, but it's all basically the same thing. You know what I mean? So, I just don't like to see videos of other witches that are putting on videos, and a lot of the subscribers that they have are very young people or new witches, and the advice that they're given is so wrong. It really bothers me to see that. I heard this one witch talking about how there's no such thing as white magic or black magic. Magic is just magic and blah blah blah. Yes, magic is magic. Okay, just like a cheater is a cheater. When someone, say your significant other cheats on you, well, I only slept with this person one time. It's not like I slept with that person 3 times. Cheating is cheating. No way around it, whether it's 1 time or 2 times or 3 times, whatever. So Magic is magic, but what you choose to do with it is what puts it in a category, whether it's good magic representing white magic, or if it's bad magic representing black magic. It's what you do with what you learn that puts it into a category. You know what I mean? Just like we all learn witchcraft, but what we do puts us into a category. Whether we choose to be Luciferian witch, or a white Wiccan witch, or a Santeria witch, or voodoo, hoodoo, whatever. It's the path that you take and what you choose to do is where you are into a category. But when I hear someone saying that there's no such thing as this and there's no such thing as that, don't let somebody tell you this and don't let somebody, that is their own personal opinion, okay? That's only one person. There are billions of people in the world. Billions of people. And there are so many witches. And not everybody is going to think the same way. So don't take that one thing that one person said and think that that is the right way. Do your research and ask around. Because you don't want to make the same mistakes that this other person is doing. Because what works for them may not work for you, okay? And it's not that their way is a wrong way. It's just that their way is their way. You know, what they're saying is it's what best works for them. Find what works for you. If you have talked to other witches and you are satisfied with what the very first person said, if you've talked to other witches and watched other videos and you're like, you know what, I really still think the way this person does, then that's fine. You've given yourself the opportunity to hear other people out. And if you want to follow that the way this person thinks, then you do that. But make sure that that is what works best for you. Make sure that you can live with that. Make sure that when those things come out of your mouth, that it best represents you. When you are mimicking what that person is saying, make sure that the words that are coming out of your mouth best represent you and your practice. Because that's all that matters. And again, if you are a very new witch, if you are a new witch or you are a young new witch, please make sure that you are talking to other witches and not sticking to one witch because you think this person is cool, you like what they say, or, you know, please give yourself the opportunity to talk to other witches, and that way you can get the very best advice that you can get and find your way in this. So that way the new generation that's coming, not our generation, but the new one, which means you young witches, are going to best represent our younger generation. So, all right, guys, I hope that I gave some advice that everybody could use. And if you have any comments or anything, just please let me know. As always, I love all of y'all. Blessed be. Bye.